My angels, it's story time. Welcome to Reminding Eve. I'm Autumn, and you're gonna get some good news today. All right, I have a lot of bitty things to tell you today, and I'm gonna tell you about this vision that I had. If I was annoyed by my mic yesterday, I've done it. I don't know what I did. I basically, transferred it to the stand, and yesterday was absolute comedy. I couldn't. Anyways, I tried to fix it today, and I broke the actual stand as well. So now I can't get it on my and I can't get it on my and it's gonna be handheld today until I'm actually getting kind of upset about it because I just don't want to faff around with that stuff. I want it to be done. It's not something I want to think about. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyways, whatever. I have a little bit of a different angle today because I felt like, I don't know. I just wanted to put something over there. And I'm working still on that mural that I told you guys I was going to put on the wall. It's on fabric. Actually, you want me to show you? I'll show you. Hang on. Okay, you remember how I was telling you guys I was going to do it on the wall? Then I thought, what if I move? If I move, I'm going to have to leave this mural on the wall. So I wanted something by Muka, and I almost bought it because I'm not actually like a proper artist. I just have fun. But I found this really beautiful picture. Well, I actually found 4 different Muka pictures, and I was like, I'm going to do a combination of them all in one spot that feels like all the elements that are special to my soul. So anyways, I'll show you what it is. It's not colored in yet. So that's the branch. Wait, hold on. It's upside down. Look how massive this is too. Do you know why this is taking me so long? Look at this. This is so big. It's so big. Can you guys see it? Can you see my lady? Hang on. Can you see my lady? Oh, look at, she looks like a princess, doesn't she? She's sitting under the tree. Can you see her? Aww. So, yay, I'm kind of getting there. I don't have like a massive ton of time to work on it, but it's nice to have something on the side to do whatever that is. It's good. Anyways, I can't wait. I think I'm gonna put that next to it or instead of these pictures, but anyways, just some fun stuff. Also, somebody did ask me about, real quick, I'm trying to do little housekeeping things. Somebody asked me about the Neal's yard. I have been partnering with them. So I'm here in the UK, so I can't really do international orders sadly yet. But it was the women's balance. Wait, do I have it? Yeah, I do have it here. Okay. So here's the women's balance. That's the stuff that, you guys, I was using this way before I was selling it. Okay, let me tell you, for example, what I'm talking about. First of all, you know how I'm crazy about like creation. Everything is organic. It's all this stuff I use every day. Frankincense Intense Anti-Aging Cream, right? Let me just tell you, okay, because somebody asked about the frankincense. Let me just tell you about frankincense. This is freaking me out. Okay, in the ancient world, it was an aromatic resin of the boswellia tree. I mean, it still is. In the ancient world, I was looking at how they used to use it. In antiquity, it was more valuable than gold in some regions and traveled along the famous incense routes from Arabia to Egypt and the Levant. It was used in temple worship and daily offerings. In Egypt, it was used to burn in temples to Ra, Isis, Osiris, and in obviously in our Hebrew text, it's used in Yahweh's temple. But it's a sign of prayer ascending, divine presence, purification of sacred space. And burning it in incense is great, but the actual frankincense itself was used in embalming because it kind of both it cleanses and preserves. So if they used this stuff in mummification, you know what I'm saying? All right. It's also used for wound treatment. It's anti-inflammatory. It's just really awesome. I love the smell, but I kind of like earthy smells, so it's not overpowering. So anyways, I don't like patchouli. I don't know if some people really like it. I don't know if it's because I grew up part of my teen life in Portland, Oregon, where we were burning some patchouli. I don't know if it's like a memory thing or what, but I don't like overly earthy. Do you know what I'm talking about? But this one just feels like, I don't know. I would open it up and use it, but I'm not going to do that. This one just feels really, it smells subtle and kind of wild and I don't know, just really lovely. Anyways, I'll put the link below if you guys are interested in that. It's unisex, so get this stuff on your face. And actually, I really do, all jokes aside, I really do believe, I mean, it was used in worship as almost like inviting presence in, right? And there's something about connecting with what we're putting on our skin. I know we can't do it with everything, you guys. I know that. I've been on a budget for a while, but I do pick my products wisely. And I've still, let me ask you this question. Have you guys got a deodorant that's not like cancer causing? Because I don't. I keep trying to find deodorants not antiperspirants, right? Antiperspirants are the ones that have all the stuff in them that actually makes you not smell. I use my son's. I like his, but it really works. But I can't find one that I feel like really works as well. So if you guys have any tips on that, let me know. I'm kind of desperate. I have one right now that is made of Palo Santo or something. It's all right. It's all right. But also, anyways, just let me know. Let me know. I'm not kidding you. If you have a good deodorant that is natural, put it in the comments, please. Okay, that was the other thing. Was there anything else? Okay, I'm serious about it being bitty because I have to show you. You guys know I started a series on like Christian taboo. Things that unfortunately the Western Christianity post all of the kind of canonization of scripture and the just doing away with anything at all that had to do with, at the time, divination, witchcraft, all of the things that were thrown out that are considered secret knowledge. Really so unfortunate how the church threw the baby out with the bathwater because, well, it's really simple, okay? And I've thought about this, how simple it is. Did Yahweh, if you are of the Judeo-Christian belief system, did he or did he not create everything? And if you are a messianic believer, then you believe that Yeshua, the Christ, created everything, right? In him, all things exist. Through him, all things were created, right? Okay, just laying that out. If that's true and you believe that, then did he create divine order? Did he create divine law? Natural law? Tick. Revealed law? Tick. Did he create sacred ancient geometry? There is nobody else who could create it, right? You cannot create if you are not the creator, right? Anyways, let's not go into that. My point is, I discovered kosher astrology and oh my God, I'm doing like ads for everybody today. I should have brought my book up. Oh no, I did another episode on it. Go check it out if it's in another episode. I can't remember what it's called. It's probably called Christian Taboo. In that episode, I was talking to you guys about kosher astrology and the differences between the true roots of astrology, the constellations, planetary alignments, Genesis, blah, 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 and Western astrology, which is more of when you hear of like future predicting and stuff, totally just like a flavor, okay? And it's not that's not the same thing. So I wanted to show you guys something that came in the mail for me, and I ordered it over Christmas, and I want to suggest to you guys to order one. They are amazing. I'm going to show you my birth chart in a second. You have to have 3 things. You need to know the hour down to the minute when you were born, right? You need to know the coordinates of the location you were born in, and then you need to know what's the other thing? The day, obviously the day. Yeah, so the day, the time, and the place. And those 3 math bits is that they take that, and with that they generate at that exact moment in time what the planets were doing, the exact alignment of the planets. Do you guys see that? How beautiful is that chart? I'm going to get a really nice frame for it. That is my little, well, it's not mine. It's kind of God's thumbprint of me on the earth. And you have one too. It is so unique and so particular, very much unlike Western astrology, down to every single planet, in like down to the degree of where of the alignments. And anyways, I'm still learning about it all, but I just thought it was beautiful. And I feel like I'm putting this on my wall to say, like, wow, I'm a part of something so much bigger. I'm gonna say this to you guys now. Every single detail of your birth was predestined, okay? And I am really excited about that, because my theological training tells me that you are a one-of-a-kind, unique being. And this chart, if nothing else, says so much about you as a unique soul. And I'm just wanting to encourage everybody to get it done, because on Reminding Eve, I am committed to giving you good news. And the good news, among other things I'm going to tell you today, is that you are everything about you, the way that you love, the way that you work, the way that you reflect, everything about you. If you've ever done a personality test, you probably found it kind of interesting, maybe a little illuminating. Well, this is not a personality test. This is the actual cosmic math personality test for you that nobody else has. There's not 4 categories. Are you DISC? Oh no. There's not, oh, you're a high D with a low I, or a high S with a low C. You know what I'm talking about. This is not Enneagram. Here's 8 different things you are. This is incredibly detailed and unique. And I just can't think of anything more illuminating, more guiding, more helpful than God's personality test for you. Check, check. Right. So that's that. Go get one done. I'll put the link for her shop in below too. I love it. It says, Autumn Fox, in Hashem Yeshua HaMashiach. You can put whatever you want on there. For me, that means in Christ. I love it. Okay. Anyways, also, she does beautiful work, this girl, and I will plug her because she did a really good job with that. Okay. Ready for more stuff? Yesterday, a little bumpy getting into it, but I want to tell you about this vision that I had right before I came on today. And I'm kind of telling on myself here, but I was feeling really overwhelmed again. And I was like, well, I have so many thoughts, so many things I want to do. And I think that in this new day, the concept of really liking yourself as you are, accepting yourself in order, can we say this, to get over yourself, to stop thinking so much about yourself. The quicker we just accept, right? We just alchemize all that self-doubt, the quicker we just alchemize it, we just take it in, okay, whatever, I am what I am like, right? I'm all for changing, but there's just so much change you can do, right? Okay. So I was sitting here and I thought, I'm just feeling the overwhelm. And I put my head down in my meditation spot and I was like, I'm just going to rest for a second, just center in. And I saw this picture in my spirit of this little creature trying to fly around in front of me, right? And I was taking it. I took this creature. It's going to sound strange, but this is just what I saw. And it made perfect sense to me. I take this creature and I grab it by its little legs, gently, but firmly. And I set it down on the ground. And I'm watching myself in this vision going, would you please come down and just put your feet on the ground? I knew that the spirit was saying to me, Autumn, you have all these different things you want to share, and you're coming to the podcast, you're coming into this space, and you're wanting to ground everything, right? But you're wanting to ground some things that you can't ground. You can't ground revelation. You can't ground a picture. You can't ground everything that like you'd want to. And it was addressing my personality type, that for you guys. I'm so careful with people. I want to be so careful because information is translating information in general, which is in my birth chart, literally calling mission. Oh my God. It's so important to me that I can just get myself into an absolute cluster, you know what? And talk myself out of anything. And instead of doing that, because I had that picture, I understood that there's just going to be times when it's like, just get in there and share what you got. Just blah, blah, blah. Because I cannot do all the editing. When you guys see me put out an episode and I have done like loads of editing, it takes so long, and it's like the absolute, I'm probably editing half of the caveats, the explanations. I'm trying to explain. It's just say it. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is a real growing journey for me, and I'm really learning how to kind of become what Reminding Eve is here to help you become, which is more settled in your skin, more who you are, right? Able to laugh at yourself and celebrate yourself, but also just accept. Just accept, right? We're not perfect. So I hope that all my bitty bits today were helpful for you in whatever way. And I have more bitty bits for you. And I'm just going to let them fly as a self-compassion practice. We're just going to do it, right? So yesterday in the episode that we did on hope, really special. I loved that episode because, well, I loved sharing that with you guys because I really have been hoping all day today. Even, I'll tell you what, that, you know, I told you that hope was like cooking in the kitchen. It's like you could smell it. I love that analogy so much. I was walking through my town earlier today. My daughter's homesick and she needed something from the store. So I ran out to get it for her. And I was walking and it's the sun's shining. And here in England, when that happens, everybody's just like the little flowers. We all come out and try to soak it up. And so anyways, I was out walking. On my way back, my favorite movie is Beauty and the Beast. Okay. And the girl set up in the middle of the little, the courtyardy bit of the town square. And she has her stuff out. She's singing The Tale as Old as Time. Oh my God, I love it so much. I love that song. Oh, it just like captures me up on the wind. And I literally, okay, and I just saw this bench and there was a couple of older people sitting there and I was like, and I sat down and listened to her and I just felt so light and so free. And I was like, I felt like heaven was just playing this beautiful song just for me, just to go, lift your spirits. Like, remember, we're hoping. It's not going to go away now. Remember what I was telling you guys yesterday? Hope is the new excitement. And I'm so grateful for it. It's not even that I'm hoping in a specific outcome or a specific thing. I'm just feeling hope everywhere around me. I'm feeling more trusting, I would say, a bit more like my old self with people, with strangers. I know that sounds weird, but do you know when you just kind of get really, really guarded and you just like, I don't know, I've just been like that for a while. And I noticed today we had a plumber around and I was just like, I was just relaxed. I wasn't being overly guarded. I don't know. You guys get it. Anyways, hope is on the wind. Hope is cooking in the kitchen. And I'm literally releasing that over you guys too. Wherever you are, just catch it and then look for it. Okay. All right. That was the next thing I wanted to tell you. Okay. So yesterday in the episode that I did on hope, I was talking about a group of people who had come to a season where they had been through their endurance training. They were showing up. A finish line had been crossed, a cycle had been completed, and you could feel it in your bones. That's, you know it if you're this group. And you're sitting there and you're looking around, and I think the word was 180 degrees of perspective. Peripheral vision has opened up, right? We're just talking about a feeling, a sense in the atmosphere, like you are in a big open space again. Where you had felt restricted before. Really maybe even imprisoned. I know that sounds strong, but I do think some people were like, just like slug it out. Like, I know that feeling. Anyways, this was a grace shift. And for those of you who are looking and you're going, okay, I can see all this stuff, but and I'm awesome. Love it. I'm so grateful for hope, but what am I doing? Like, where am I heading? And it's really daunting when you don't have a vision, especially because the world, society's pressure to have a vision board, right? To have a vision is superimposed on us. And I think this kind of vision is not a vision board kind of vision. This is not about stuff you want to manifest. This is vision that you can have until you get your specific details. If you don't have specific blueprint kind of details, or you don't know who to support, because sometimes God will give you a blueprint to support someone else's vision, right? There's all different kinds of personalities and types, but there is a deeper vision, and it is God's vision. It is the plan A that we have talked about in Rebloom, where if you can connect with the deeper vision for your life and orientate yourself within that, then you will be walking into that big, beautiful horizon feeling pretty satisfied, okay, pretty whole, because regardless of a specific detail or, thing you're wanting to manifest or don't know you're wanting to manifest, you are going to be living with purpose, okay? And we are not, the reason why men perish for lack of vision is because we are created as functional beings, and we have to have purpose. We have to have purpose, and if we don't know it, we will bang our heads on the wall, as you can see from social media and everything. Every single ad there is trying to give you meaning or deepen your meaning, and you'll notice that because that is how we're wired. Okay? Right. So I'm going to read this to you. This is Jeremiah 29, 4 through 13. Now, the parallel is that God is speaking to a people who have completely lost their identity, right? Israel. They have been taken into captivity into Babylon, into Egypt, and they have gone from being the chosen nation, right, to being slaves. And history tells us that they were used and abused, like, by the Egyptian Empire. I mean, it was pretty bad. What do you do? All right, so the parallel is we're in exile. The concept of exile is when you're away from home, right? Big concept. When you're away from home, i.e. when you don't know what you're doing or where you're going and you feel lost, how do you connect with purpose? To all the exiles I've taken from Jerusalem to Babylon. Are you ready? It's really simple. Build houses and make yourselves at home. Put in gardens and eat what grows in that country. Marry and have children. Make yourselves at home there and work for the country's welfare. Pray for Babylon's well-being. If things go well for Babylon, things will go well for you. Whew. Okay. Let me just go forward because I want to talk to you about how Eugene Peterson talks to us about this. The idea is get settled in. And if you guys caught my Instagram post the other day, I think I just did a quick little video, and I was saying I don't understand why people are just preaching so many things except for God's dream for us, right? It's very clear in Genesis that we are here to terraform the earth, to bring heaven to earth, okay? And just in real short, I did years and years and years and years of theological training, and I will tell you this is sound, ready? God, because of Greek thinking, okay, we became a dualistic society. What does that mean? Real quick, it means everything good, Plato, right? The final forms. Everything good is out there. Everything yucky, lower level is here on earth. That thought got into the collective human consciousness and in Western Christianity. Why? Paul, who wrote so much of the New Testament, was a Neoplatonist. The concept, the duality of that, split apart heaven and earth, and it put heaven out there and it put earth here. That is not what the scriptures tell us. What we see in Genesis is where is heaven and earth. Eden is the overlap of heaven and earth, right? Earth is actually kind of out here, and Eden is a central focal point of mission. Like, this is where God mandates, this is where he commissions, right? And he says, make this, make that like this. It's all here in one place. I call it plan A. It's God's plan A. So then you have all the different covenants that come through, and you have Christ who comes, and where does it, he says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So regardless of whether you're Jewish, Gentile, whether you're a messianic believer, whatever you believe, there is nowhere in scripture that says God doesn't like here and he's taking us out of here. Okay? That's not the metamorphosis of this big cosmic equation. All right? This is plan A. And God is saying, while you're exiled, so this is written in 1500 BC to people. Wait, is that right? Babylonian exile, I think is somewhere around there, maybe 1200 BC. It's written to people all the way back then, but the message is prophetic and it still applies to us because we are all exiled from Eden still. We're in a state. In theology, we call it the now and the not yet. In other words, we're here and we're experiencing manifestation. We can bring heaven through to earth right now, okay? Heaven is at hand in the Hebrew culture, even in the Greek culture in the first century AD. It meant here, like you're breathing on it. It meant here, not out there. So the kind of concept of parallel universes, you guys, is way truer than you would even be able to, or we would even be able to understand. Okay, they're even testing this, with the slit tests now. Not now, that's actually, what is that? The slit test is like probably a decade or maybe two old. These are the quantum physics studies that are going on that are showing us, science is revealing that this is a reality. This is reality. Okay, there are other dimensions and realms going on. Go Google the slit test. Google parallel universes, infinity universes. Google it. Really do some digging into it. It's actually really fun to learn about it. So that's the whole point of this. God's saying, what do you do while you're in exile? Get settled in. So if you do not have a vision for your life, here you go. Ready? What do? Build your house, marry, have babies, get stuck in, and pray for what's around you. And remember what God says, because as what's around you prospers, then you'll prosper. That's a huge, huge deal. If you're wondering, does God want you to separate yourself from the world? No, that is not what being holy or set apart means at all. At all. In fact, the people who did do that, Jesus rebukes and says, do not be like the people who shave their heads and make vows. Those were the Essenes. That was an entire tribe of Jewish, kind of like Pharisees, very, very, very prescriptive. They literally put themselves apart from society to stay clean. Okay, that is not what Christianity is about. It's not what reality is about, right? Because what does Christ say? He says, it's not what you put in your mouth that makes you unclean. It's what comes out of your heart that makes you unclean. Okay, so stop with all this, like, I'm better than you. I need to stay clean. Don't touch me. Absolute rubbish. If that's how you feel, then you're saying to the world, what's inside of me is not greater than what's out there. Okay, does that make sense? What the idea is that you are so secure in your identity and your authority and your sovereignty that anywhere you go, people are healed, right? Anywhere you go, you sanctify whatever it is. Like if I'll tell you, I got incense when I was in Spain, and for some reason I got some incense, and when I brought them back to the house where I was staying, I felt like the Spirit said, throw them out. I was like, well, you could have told me that at the shop. I'm sure you couldn't have, because at the shop I was like, oh, I love them. Okay, no. So when I got home, throw them out. I was like, why? Okay, all right. I just chucked them. Okay, I didn't need to ask why, really. I just know when I'm convicted about something or when I'm feeling sensitive. I don't know why. Maybe they were made by I don't know why. But what I do know is that I've bought other incense and I have brought them home and I have just felt fine about them. And I just say, God, whoever made these, whatever temple worship they were made to, whatever it is, I commit them to Yahweh's service. Right, to the service of your temple. In other words, my God owns everything, and I consecrate it on his behalf. I say it's holy. Right, I speak it as holy. When Christ touched the lepers, he made them clean. That's the kind of power that we have, and we're just so indoctrinated in this, I need to stay away from you. It's all fear. It's all fear. I promise you. Okay, now, as I said, the Holy Spirit has the power to convict. So if something is off or you're not to be somewhere, then of course you're going to move out, throw it out, chuck it out, don't go there. But if you're the kind of person who's just constantly afraid of everything, objects, people, religions, spiritual practices, then you are absolutely declaring into the spirit realm that you live in fear. Not the fear of the Lord, that you live in fear because you do not believe that you have power over anything. Okay, if you don't have power over an atmosphere, then what are you doing? That's the whole point of Eden. Heaven on earth. Bring it through. Find it. If you go into that restaurant and you think, oh, that's funny, find heaven. Where is heaven? You have access to heaven. I have access to heaven. It's inside of my body, right? This is where heaven dwells. So I'm bringing it through into the restaurant. Right? And the light came into the dark and the dark did not overcome it. Bam. Makes me so excited. It makes me excited. It makes me geek out on the moment of singularity. My son and I have a joke because one time before I knew what antimatter was, I used the word or the phrase antimatter in the wrong way. And he's still like, Mom, okay, because the war with matter and antimatter, right, is matter one, right? That's why we exist. We're matter. So anyways, light overcomes darkness. Good overcomes evil. Love wins. This concept is embedded into the very fabric of reality. And anyways, my son, if we hit a moment where I'm trying to make a point, he'll be like, is it antimatter, Mom? Is it? And he's like a chemistry major. He knows his stuff way better than I do. But anyways, so funny. So yeah, you guys, I want to tell you, for the people who don't have vision, let me tell you what he says, and then we'll end on that force. So this is what is bugging me. This is what's bugging me. I've finally realized it. Jeremiah says, his letter is a rebuke and a challenge. Quit sitting around feeling sorry for yourselves. The aim of the person of faith is not to be as comfortable as possible, but to live as deeply and thoroughly as possible, to deal with the reality of life, discover truth, create beauty, act out love. You didn't do it when you were in Jerusalem. Why don't you try doing it here in Babylon? Don't listen to the lying prophets who make an irresponsible living by selling you false hopes. You're here for a long time. You better make the best of it. Don't just get along, waiting for some miraculous intervention, i.e. revivals and the rapture and things that are gonna just take us out of here. Oh my God, it gets right up my skin. It's not happening, you guys. And have you noticed it's not happening? Have you noticed? Is anybody gonna notice these announcements? Jesus is coming back. First of all, nobody knows when Jesus is coming back. It literally says it in the scriptures. Second of all, shame on you. Shame on you. If you want Jesus to come back right now, then you are not hearing the words of Paul. Yes, do I want to go to Jesus? Yes. Do I want to go and be in the full unveiled reality of heaven? Yes, of course, we all do. But that's so selfish because there is so much work to be done here. There are so many people who have not awakened into Christ. There's this poor earth is waiting for us to rule over it and make it beautiful, right? How selfish of Christianity to be so focused on the second return of Christ. The focus is to be focused on your own internal sanctification, your own bridal walk with Christ, right? It's, am I prepared? Do I have my lamp filled? It is a constant daily focus on responsibility. And part of that should be, am I doing what my groom died for, which is to want to be here to get all of his sons and daughters, his inheritance, to terraform this earth, to bring heaven to earth, our Father's kingdom. Our Father wants to come and dwell here with everyone. That's the whole point. That's what Jesus preached. So you want to get ready for Christ to return? Stop talking about it and get ready in your own heart. Don't get ready out here. Okay? And Eugene Peterson really goes after this because he says, build houses, plant gardens, marry husbands, marry wives, have children, pray for the wholeness of the world, and do everything you can to develop that wholeness. The only place you have to be human is where you are right now. That's the vision. The only opportunity you will ever have to live by faith is in the circumstances that are provided for you this very day. This house you live in, this family you find yourself in, the job that you've been given, the weather conditions that prevail at this moment, right? Ooh. Daily, we face decisions on how we'll respond to our conditions. We can say, I don't like it. I want to be where I was 10 years ago. How can you expect me to throw myself into what I don't like? That would be sheer hypocrisy. What sense is there in taking risks and tiring myself out among people I don't even like, in a place where I have no future? That's what a lot of Christians think about Earth. They don't think their future's here. It is. It is. I will do my best with what is here. That's what we could say. I had feelings like that back in Jerusalem. Change is hard. Developing intimacy among strangers is always a risk. Building relationships in unfamiliar and hostile surroundings is difficult. But if that is what it means to be alive and human, then I will do it. Okay? Fenelon used to say that there's two kinds of people. Some look at life and complain of what is not there. Others look at life and rejoice in what is there. Will we live on the basis of what we don't have or what we do have? Oh God, and I have totally been that person who is just seeing what they don't have. I've been there, okay? I'll leave you with this, okay? All of us are given moments, days, months, years of exile. What will we do with them? Wish we were someplace else? Complain? Escape into fantasy? Drug ourselves into oblivion? Or build and plant and marry and seek the shalom of the place we inhabit and the people that we're with? Exile reveals what really matters and frees us to pursue what really matters, which is to seek the Lord with all of our hearts. So that's my commentary on what we're seeing right now in the world and where that irritation comes from, because it's really not doing anybody a service to keep living on the edge. It's not doing your kids a service. It's giving the next generation anxiety instead of calm, right? We need to calm their nervous systems. We need to say, we are in this for the long haul. We are building generational legacy, generational wealth, spiritually, but also in reality, here, out here, right? God wants us here. We need to be preaching that this is a good place to be. The idea, and what I'm going to remind you on this channel, which is the good news is that you are made for this place. You're exactly where you need to be. You have everything you need in your day to have a good day. And a good day is a day where you're on purpose and mission. So even if it isn't emotionally good, are you doing what you need to do? Are you showing up for work? Are you looking after, you have kids, you're looking after your kids? Good. Are you working with your whole heart? Good. You and I are commanded to pray for the welfare of the people around us. And that's a big job to do. And I think that the reason as well is because God knows that's not for him. It's because prayer forms our own hearts, okay? It forms our own hearts. It connects us to what's around us. That's the idea of, praying for them, is that they should feel what you're praying for, the darkness around you. You should be able to pull that into your heart. You should be able to pull the people who you think are living wrongly. You should be able to get them into your heart. If you can't, then you really don't understand what Christ came for. If you can't pull them into your heart and you're just separating yourself from them, then you really, you're useless, right? You're useless. Sorry, but you are. It's like salt thrown out. What's the purpose of it, right? We have to stop separating ourselves in the 3D, but we also have to stop separating ourselves eschatologically with this end times stuff. Stop, make it stop. Get stuck in. This is where it's at. Live your life. Live it and enjoy it and do all those things, right? Seek God with your whole heart. It's not meant to be very hard. Anyways, so my angels, for the people who are wanting to hope but don't have a vision, we need to hope in the fact that today we have enough to do just in today. Just showing up for work, just look after the things that you're supposed to do, get stuck in, think in your mind long term, okay? All the things that make us human, getting married, building houses, all the things, do those things and pray for the people around you. That is the vision. That's God's vision for you whilst you're here in exile. And any other details that you need will come to you. And I believe that for myself as well. So yeah, that's it for today. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.